Hi, I am Priyanka Evangeline, your internet speech language pathologist. And as per your request, today we are going to talk about vegetative skills or Oro Motor exercises. And if we are going to see if they help in speech development. So I have my notes ready over here to go, and let's start. These are exercises of the lips or tongue or jaw, asking your child to blow with certain straws at certain paper, balloon, bubbles, or asking your child to move their tongue, do some type of sounds. So these are generally oromotor exercises. Now, is it really helpful and can it help your child develop speech and language skills? That is the main question. The short answer is no. The long answer, let's look at it now. Now, first, let's see why it doesn't help, and then let's see if there are specific cases where it does help children uh, in their development. So, we are going to see why it doesn't help, what cases it can help, and finally, what you can do instead if oromotor exercises cannot help. So we think speaking is a oral task. Talking requires only this place. But this is just one of the three components. Speech also has neural component, which is the biggest one, and it also has a social component. So if you are so think about it this way: if you are only working on one aspect, it doesn't really help unless your child has a specific difficulty with this only this aspect. But there is this component where we think about what we're going to talk, we have an interest towards what we're going to talk, there is emotion involved, and there is need to talk. So all of this neural and social component is also there. In the brain, we have certain specific brain regions for speech. One of it is called Broca's area, and one of it is called Wernicke's area. In the Wernicke's area, which is in here above your ear, this area is for listening, understanding, decoding speech. And this area where Broca's area is over here, which is responsible for formulating speech, which is expressive language, making the motor movements for speech. Now, this brings me to the second point, which is just working on oral movements is not enough, because oral movements for non-speech tasks, like moving your tongue or just blowing or whistling, these require different activation pathways than which we use for speech. So in the brain, there is a specific area for motor function, that all your bodily motor movements, your mouth, your eyes, everything. And there is a specific area in the brain for speech related motor movements, which is the Broca's area, or the speech motor planning area, which is also a very specific area. So just working on the oral structures is not helpful. You have to work on the brain. You have to work on the social component in remembering. So I was talking about the Wernicke's area, where your child needs to know a lot of language, know a lot of words, sentences, and then be able to formulate that expressive language using their Broca's area and their speech motor area. It may help your child if your child has only an articulation problem, that is, they have only difficulty with pronouncing certain sounds and making certain sounds, like he or she has only difficulty with making the ta sound or ra sound, or their speech is slightly not clear. They are speaking a lot, but it's not clear. So only when your child has those kind of difficulties, then we can do this oromotor exercises. Even then, research shows oromotor exercises alone is not helpful at all, because like I was telling, just learning to move your oral structures is not enough. You should learn to move your oral structures with respect to specific speech sounds. So just doing is not a speech task. It is not, it's just a motor task. It's not even speech. So, but doing la or doing lamp or doing letter or noon, these are speech tasks because there are sound involved along with the movement. Then it becomes a speech task. But just blowing or just moving your tongue, moving your jaw, doing massages, these are not speech tasks. And you're not helping speech by working on this. Another thinking that working on these oral structures improves the strength of speaking. Just think about it like this. If you walk a lot or if you run a lot, do you think you can dance better? No, right? Example of walking versus Kathakali dancing. Now, if you want to learn Kathakali dancing, you're not going to just keep walking or just keep doing some jumping exercises in order to learn this. To learn this specific type of dancing, you have to learn each step. Then you have to do 2 to 3 steps together, and you have to sequence the step. You have to work on your movement, your speed, your accuracy, how your attitude during dancing, your emotions that you show. So you have to work. If you want to learn Kathakali dancing, you have to work on Kathakali dancing. You cannot work on walking or jumping or running and then hope that you will learn this or this will improve this in some way. No, they are completely different motor movements that require specific pathways in the brain in order to perform that. So if you want to make your child learn to speak, you have to do speech practice and not mouth movements. Now we think it requires a lot of strength. Now a lot of you can ask me, ma'am, maybe it helps in improving the strength of speaking. Now think about it, right? Even if you had a really long day, you will come home and you want to talk to somebody about it. You still have the energy to talk. That is, even if you are tired, we talk. And we don't really get tired of talking, much, as only if we are like talking for 4 hours and 5 hours and 6 hours. Even then our mind gets tired, our mouth doesn't get tired. So what I'm trying to tell you is speaking does not require strength. We think that you need to be able to, you have strong tongue, strong jaw. Really not. We are not doing some strength exercise. We're not trying to push something with our mouth or with our tongue. We're just slightly moving it only. So speaking does not require strength, and you don't have to work on strengthening the tongue or the jaw or the lips. Yes, now so far we've seen why it doesn't help. Now let's see, when can oromotor exercises help? It can definitely help in specific cases, but for example, if your child is doing a lot of mouthing, then it means that your child may need more oral stimulation, and this is a sensory need. So in that case, we can do oromotor exercises to reduce the mouthing behavior. Now, if your child has chewing difficulties, they're not chewing the food, they're just swallowing food, and they're used to very soft food, they're not biting properly. When they are eating, things are falling out of their mouth. Now, this eating is a motor act. So there you can work on oromotor exercises to work on chewing and swallowing and lip seal, these specific chewing related functions. Now, there can be other issues, like if your child is neurodivergent, they may have oral sensitivity issues or oromotor needs. That is, they chew their shirt, they take things and put in their mouth and keep chewing. So this can mean that they're orally hyposensitive and they need more movement and more sensation to feel that balanced sensory state. Then you can do oromotor exercises for the sensory need. So you can see that oromotor exercises do not help speech production or language development, but they are helping in when your child is having a sensory need only. Okay, now you're thinking, ma'am, but I've been doing blowing exercises. I'm doing all these oral exercises for speech. Okay, now what can I do if I should not do this? Okay, I'm going to tell you what you can do instead of oromotor exercise. So here are 3 things. The first thing is work on language stimulation. That is, give your child lot of language input in terms of words, sounds, rhymes, through reading storybook, through doing specific speech activities. Now, if you want to know more activities and like what can you do about this, I will link my videos here on how to read storybooks with your child, how to use screen time to promote language development. All of that will be linked above. You can check it. Though activities which have an oral motor component, it has a neurological component of thinking, planning, it has a social component of wanting to talk, wanting to share information. The second thing you can work on is to build motivation and interest and making your child want to talk, right? That is the important social component, which most of our neurodivergent kids have difficulty with. So work on this motivation. And again, I have more information on that. I will be sharing that video links here. So after this video, open this I tab over here and look at all the videos that I've tagged in here, and check out one by one activities to improve motivation, activities to work on speech. And now the third thing you have to do is a lot of play based activities. Most of our kids, are who are less than 7, they don't really respond well to tabletop activities and, making them follow instructions, do a task. They are very inquisitive, adventurous children. So they want to do a lot of play based activities, and that's what they find fun. So that is very typical for their age. So you do a lot of play based communication activities. Again, I will be linking the videos where I have more play based and fun activities you can try with your child. Now I also want to make, a statement to tell you that it's not your fault. If you have been working on blowing exercises and oro motor exercise, don't worry, it's not your fault, because we live in a world where every single thing is monetized, and just oral exercises, oral tools and speaking tools and all that are sold. They are selling courses and all of that is there. So obviously, as somebody, as a parent who does not know much about how, child development happens and how speech development happens, you may fall for their traps, so and do those things, and that's okay. But now you watch this video and you know that they don't help you. So now you know what you can do instead. So let's start from now to do the right thing. And whenever you have some doubts, don't just rely on all the information around. Whenever you see an information, always check in with your speech therapist to see if this is helpful and if this is useful for your child. Finally, don't be hard on yourself if you did not know this, but now you know and you can do better. Okay. So if you have any more video suggestions for me, let me know in the comments. And if you learned something new, definitely tell me in the comments. I'm sure you might have more doubts. That also you can ask me. And also a lot of you watch my video and then text me on WhatsApp with doubts. So actually, if you comment below my video, it helps me more and it helps my video reach other parents also. So if possible, and if you have some doubts, you can definitely comment below my video. Now, to me, YouTube is my special project, my fun project. My WhatsApp is for work. So I have specific times on using my WhatsApp, but YouTube I can check anytime, and I love to interact with you because there is no, I'm not getting much from this, and it's just for my enjoyment and for my sharing of knowledge. So if you have any doubts that you want answers, definitely leave it in the comments in below my YouTube video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.